Authenticity guarantees spiritual wellness in whole health. Now listen to what the American Academy of Family Physicians has to say about spiritual well-being. That spirituality is the way you find meaning, hope, comfort, and inner peace in your life. Is it possible? Not to worry, we shall find out together. But in this moment, allow me to say, welcome, my lovely and amazing listeners, to another of the Hope Ignites Healing podcast with your host, Dr. Lilian Kalisa. This is a space we speak everything holistic health and healing, and we are in the season this year where we've been talking clean out. That is, we're cleaning out our minds, our bodies, and our spaces for holistic health and especially for finding healing. So this week, we are describing authenticity and how this guarantees spiritual wellness in whole health. And what are we doing? We are cleaning out our social well-being. We are cleaning out those myths that have everything to do with spirituality and religion. I want to start with a disclaimer. Look, I am not a teacher of faith. No, I do not claim to know spirituality and be an expert in it. No. While we are talking spiritual well-being in whole health, I am not inclined to religion and religious practices on this podcast at all. My purpose is to lead you onto this journey of finding true and authentic health, and spiritual well-being is part and parcel of this package. And like I've taught you, I still do. In social well-being, we are emphasizing spiritual well-being. So join me today as we see authenticity, because guess what? That's where it all starts. I will start at story time. Now today, I have a story of a lady described as an amazing elderly lady. I know, I'm always describing them as amazing because when I'm in the experience of their story, I promise you, it is amazing. And I just cannot wait to share it with you. So this lady, she is said to have raised over 100 children and counting. I kid you not. In her humble home here in our Uganda. She is nothing close to wealthy materially, I tell you, but let me assure you that she's among the wealthiest hearts that I have encountered. This lovely lady on any day will choose to share a meal with someone. Hers is a sad meal if she has to have it alone. In fact, it's not a meal at all. Now, of course, you all remember the COVID pandemic and what it did to our socials, right? So the COVID pandemic was the most stressful time for this lady. No wonder she suffered a heart attack that drove her into an emergency ICU admission. I kid you not. But now that I know better, I wonder, was it the joy of seeing people surrounding her with love that got her to see the need to live longer and serve her purpose in her humble home? Because I'll tell you, she beat the heart attack. She's an elderly lady that lives with non-chronic illnesses that are common to the elderly, like we've shared and you've heard from elsewhere. Things like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. She has them. But oh, how this lady is full. Minus having to swallow her medication, she makes minimal effort. I kid you not. She makes very minimal effort to the recommended healthy lifestyle for living with chronic illnesses. Completely basic. But this amazing lady is living on purpose daily. And maybe that's where her healing comes from. I will tell you, even yesterday, she shared a meal with someone who is not her biological child. Now, her children are long gone out of her humble home into their own homes. But she is still a mother to many. She will have her meals cooked the same way or even bigger than she did when her children were still in her home. She will cook a meal for her child's friend who happens to be sick in hospital, or who is in prison and the child is going to visit that person, or one that she knows has guests in their home and will need extra support in the meal preps. This lady is a timeless restaurant to charity. The joy she finds daily feeding someone else is her life's purpose daily in her humble home. Now, this lovely lady is beating the sequelae that comes from living with chronic diseases of the elderly, not just her prescription, which I will tell you she's regularly taken for her physician reviews, but daily she's producing endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin. My goodness, I look at that brain and I'm thinking, wow. She receives these daily from the daily hugs and thank yous from strangers. This is truly spirituality. It is living with purpose and on purpose. And what is my lesson in sharing this story with you? This is what I pondered. I care not what religious affiliation this lady is aligned to, but I know the depth of her authenticity gives her great health despite having a definition of disease processes in her body. I hope you agree with me. Now take a moment. I want to read to you something that might be familiar, but listen to what I perceive in regard to this lesson. This is described as what the true kingdom of God looks like, prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. This was the clarification given to this script. Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my people, you did it to me. Does it sound familiar? Just in case it doesn't, look up Matthew 25, verse 35 to 40 in that big, great book. Now, this is the myth that we need religion to be spiritual. And that is what I'm here to break today and clean out. Religion is a support to your spiritual wellness, only and only if you are living in spiritual wellness yourself. So listen to what research has said. Researchers that have dug deep into spirituality and religion say that spirituality is concerned with urging you, an individual, to initiate your own experiences. Recall when we talked about core beliefs and authenticity in the last 2-3 podcasts on this space, the Hope Ignites Healing podcast. So these researchers say that spirituality is really connecting to the experiences of your authentic self, while religion is mainly concerned with learning from the experience of others and using those to shape your own life. So it's like speaking from the outside to the inside. And then they further go on to say that religion is a set of shared beliefs and practices with a sole purpose of connecting with the higher powers, that is the transcendence. But spirituality is applying these same beliefs and practices in regard to who you are and connecting them to your authenticity. I felt that made it clear for me, and I hope that it has helped as well. And here is the question. Then spiritual well-being, how does it connect to health? I know that's what I've been laboring to explain, but I will summarize it in this. How spiritual well-being connects to health is through authenticity. Did you hear me? I'm talking authenticity. 1. Living in a true and meaningful way. Because you are fulfilled in doing this, living true and meaningful, it's not just a cover-up. It is you. It is who you are. You are your true self and you are connecting with your truth that you've sat down to experience on your own. And guess what you are doing in the process? You are suppressing stress hormones like that elderly lady and allowing the happiness hormones while you're in those states of living in your truth. And 2, authenticity is achieved through acts of deep spirituality. And I'm talking about things like having your quiet time, embracing silence and solitude where you are seated with yourself in your truth. How many times do we do that? I'm talking about acts of meditation. Meditation is often a myth to many. But guess what? This is how simple I'll put it. Prayer is you speaking. Meditation is you listening. And who are you listening to? You are listening to your core, the beauty surrounding you, and what it is saying to you in the moment. And this beauty involves the higher power. And for me, I'm talking about the Holy Spirit. Right? Guess what this does to you? Living in this deep spirituality relieves stress hormones and anxiety. This is without say, the result that comes from that. And 3, It leads to positive relationships with yourself and others and the world around you, which is exactly what I've just described in the last point. So you're living with those that are good and non-toxic to you, yourself and those around you, that give you good and less toxicity. And 4, you're having a sense of acceptance of yourself and those around you in relationship to yourself and what authentic means to you. So we are not doing anything according to the outside, but we are doing it according to the inside, which is truly authentic to you. This gets me so excited. I hope you are following with me. And then, what does being authentic lead to? And remember, when you hear authenticity, you are talking wellness, spiritual completeness. 1, it gives you sensible decision making and behavior because you're digging from your innermost and not what others think is a narrative to you. 2, it enables you to have interactions that are based on well-set moral compass that comes from the inside. Remember when we talk about the why? This will completely eliminate the states of severe disappointment that come from malalignment of religious groups or groups of people. Because your core is firm and is founded on your truth and authenticity, whatever confusion happens outside of you will not throw you off balance because you are set in your core and your core beliefs. And 3, authenticity enables you to give your life a sense of purpose. Spiritual well-being is living in alignment with your why. Just like you say, I am physically healthy, you are saying, I am spiritually healthy. And finally, authenticity and spiritual wellness enables us to achieve goals, to maintain a proper perspective in life and overcome adversity. Guess what? Because your why is aligned. So each and everything aligns to your why. Isn't that a life of abundance, my lovelies? Definitely it is. So here, finally, I will share some truths that will guide you through improving your spiritual wellness starting today. You can start it today, my dears, like I did once upon a time. Mindfulness. The best time to be with you. What is that time? I want you to look up the Hope and Optimism podcast where I describe the details of this. I remember talking about how mindfulness of self leads you into positive mindfulness and enables you to achieve the journey of living in hope and optimism. One that I started between 2 and 3 years ago before I started on this journey. And then we are talking, when do you feel your best self? Remember the question that I left you with in the last podcast? I hope you still have the answers to your highest level of happiness. So again, here it comes. When do you feel most happy, most grounded, and connected to your innermost and those around you? And by the way, especially the higher power. What are your set personal values and highest version of yourself, not what others have set for you? How unfair that is to your health. Will you please set out to broaden and maintain social links that are in alignment to your core values and not the other way around? Today, what are they? What are those core values and what is authentic to you? Do you have or can you identify worthy role models and mentors that take you towards your growth in your most core values, not the other way around? Find those core values, your authenticity and your truth, and find those mentors that will guide you in that journey. Lastly, your community and cultural engagement. May this be aligned to your core values and beliefs. I'm talking about a community that is aligning with who you are and not you aligning to the community, right? This gives you long-lasting spiritual well-being that nobody will steal from you. So as usual, while we close, this has been quite a longer podcast than usual, but that is how deep spiritual well-being is. 2 podcasts that last this long is quite new in my world, but then let's tell our brains what they're going to do to us. I will start with the affirmations that I put in the last podcast. Right now, I hope you are affirming that you can live in spiritual completeness. Join me as we take on this journey. I take self-action to introspect. I am creative in myself. I have compassion on myself and then on others. I have faith in a higher power, something that is greater than me, someone that is even more greater than me. I am living with a sense of meaning and purpose. I am connected to my feelings, values, and intuitions. I am aware of my ego, that is my personality and self-worth and conditioning. I am growing, deepening, and becoming more conscious of self and others. I am realizing my potential and discovering my gifts. I take selfless action to serve others while remaining authentic to self. I treat myself and others as sacred. Now tell me, does this make sense? That spirituality is the way you find meaning, hope, comfort, and inner peace in your life, said the American Academy of Family Physicians. Doesn't it sound true? I think it does. What an honor to be the one to show you the truths among the people that have been sent your way. I'm proud and happy that you let me be one of those people. Your host, Dr. Lillian Kalisa, here to encourage you that when we start on a life of whole health, we are living a life of abundance. Here to add the glow to medicine and give your life the extra sparkle. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next week in the next podcast. Bye-bye.